We are live. There's already 17 of you on YouTube. Awesome. Thank you for joining. So we are going to be doing a playtime session today. A lot of fun is going to be involved. We're going to go through a quick little warm, and we're going to do three things. Once we've warmed up, sort of a bit of lower body and upper body, we're then going to go into number one. Is going to be a game of rock, paper, scissors, but like you've never played it before. And that's going to be one where we literally, you're going to be playing on with me. Then we're going to go into after we're on rock, paper, scissors, then going to look at a double dip through. You're going to need two chairs of the same height, or if you've got parallel bars, we're going to be able to use them. And then we're going to finish off with a challenge, a little flying frog challenge, which will be hopefully quite a nice little fun, interesting one for you. So I hope you're ready. Hope you've got your fancy pants on, and I've come prepared. You will see. Don't come up in here with white socks. This is the real stuff. So we're going to be doing some stuff where we're on our hands and on our no white socks. If you've got white socks on, take them off. Take them off now. You can wait to take them off. Take them off. So if you we're going to be using our hands a little bit in some of these things, so we're going to have quite a bit of fun with our hands, as Tim would like to say. So we're going to come down onto your hands and knees, and then I want you just to be able to have to start with, just going to warm the wrists up a little bit, fingers pointing forward, and we're just going to do a couple of little circles just to start getting forwards and backwards, just loosening up the wrist, see what that looks like side on. So just forwards, around, back, around. So I'm actually going anti-clockwise at the moment, then we'll come back and we'll go clockwise. And then we're going to turn the hands around as much as what feels sort of comfortable for you, and we'll do the same thing. We're going to come around, clockwise, a few reps, and then anti-clockwise. This is just warming and just loosening the wrists off a little bit. Again, side on. If you want to up that a little bit, take the fingers pointing backwards again. And go up into like a little bit of a bear crawl position and do the same thing. So now my knees aren't touching the floor. So a little bit more weight going through the wrist, around, a few little circles. Good. And again, we'll turn them around. Not sure what that looks like, but that knee's going to come off the floor. Some little circles. And back the other way. Just progressively getting a little bit more range and a little bit more load going through the wrist. Good. From there, we're going to come, and I want you to come down into the best sort of, or your deepest squat position. If you can do it with your heels down on the floor, great. If you can't, come up onto your toes. But all we're going to do is a little bit of movement side to side initially. Just you can use your hands and your arms a little bit to encourage this, encourage your knees to pop out. You can look down if you want and admire your amazing socks if you've got them on, or you can just shake your head at yourself if you're wearing white socks and you haven't taken them off yet. From there, you're going to bring one leg across and back up, one leg back to the middle. And so if you want to, you can use your hands for a little bit of balance if you need to. If you feel like you need to let your heels come off the ground, that's fine. The leg that you're going to come across, the heel is probably going to come off. We want to try and keep the other one down if we can. But at this stage, don't worry, don't stress too much. We're just trying to loosen off the wrists. The ankles, and move about a bit. Good. From there, we're going to stand up. We're going to do a couple of little squats. We're going to tuck the pelvis underneath a little bit. We're going to come down, hands in front. We're going to squat down to that position we were just in. Drive back up. Come down, under control. Back up. Come down. Back up. This time, we're going to come down. Once we're there, we're going to grab our toes if we can, and we're going to then try to stand up a little bit so we get a bit of stretch on hamstrings. We're going to come back down to that squat, then stand up. So come down, grab his toes, come up, stand up, back down, and up. We'll do 2 more then, just because you're going to need, for this pop, rock, paper, scissors game, you're going to need a little bit of good hamstring work, lateral positions, because we're going to, for here again, you're going to find out what this rock, paper, scissors is about in a minute, but this is going to be your scissor position, being able to get your legs out. So with my beautiful socks, I can slide on this floor a little bit. I'm going to go get myself nicely way outside, I'll hip this apart, and then I'm going to come down onto one side, a bit like a lateral lunge, but trying to go further into what we call a Cossack type position. But to start with, let's not stress too much. Let's put our hands on the floor if we need to. Let that heel come off the floor if you need to as well. Put your hands to let yourself come, transfer across, and then down to the other side. Do whatever feels most comfortable for this leg at the moment, whether you want to keep it down or pull the toe up. Use your hands to help you transfer across each time, just seeing whether you can use your hands a little bit less each time until you might come across and not need your hands. And then the other thing is, gradually what we're going to try and do is see if we can get this heel a little bit down towards the ground. So it might be that I drop to there, I come back through, drop it down, come back through, drop it down and transfer across. So come over, hands to start with, to give you some balance, heel down, just trying to encourage that heel to stay down, and then transfer across. So maybe without the hands, heel down, here, heel down, transfer across, here, heel down, transfer across. Last one then, rather than everyone should go heel down, you're going to stand up into that wide position, then you're going to come down to the side, then stand up, come down to the side. And maybe again, put hands down on the floor if you want to try and get a little bit deeper, if you need to. But this time we're going to be coming up each time rather than being down and staying and transferring across. Like we're actually going to come up. So a couple more then. One, and this one, wider, and then we're just going to pivot down from the hip, and then I just want to give a few little, trying to stay nice and flat with the back, a few little pulses in the bottom of here, try to let those legs just relax out a little bit, like mine, let's slide a smidge, just whilst we're in here, just looking into opening up through there, but you have to work quite hard to maintain yourself in this position. Slide yourself back to the middle. Right, nice one. So hopefully lower body's feeling quite good. We just need to do a little bit more on the upper body before we get then into this first game of rock, paper, scissors. It's like a frog stand variation of it. So we're going to go into our push-up position. We're going to go and take one arm away into a Y shape, and then we're going to build up from there. This is our final one just to warm up. So I'll show you from on. You go press up position, spread your legs a little bit, give yourself a wide base. Hands are going to come to the middle, and then you're going to raise one hand up, control it back down, and change the other side. Each time we do it, what I don't want to see is a rotation through the body when I raise that up. I want everything to stay locked in. Nothing should move apart from my hand. I'll show you one side arm in a second. So we're side arm now. Feet wide apart. Body's going to stay in a nice straight line. Raise arm up. Nothing else is moving. Lower down the chain. Back through. I am counting, that's 5. I'm going to pause each one. That's 6. We'll do 4 more. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice. From there, bring your feet back in. We're going to work ourselves around. Those that were here on, I think at the beginning of the week, did these round the world type push-ups, where hand goes all the way through. Raise the hips up, and then come round all the way. Back to your press-up position. Come through, let the knees bend to start with, around, hips nice and high, transfer over, back to the shape. What you should try now, rather than being bent, straighten the legs a little bit more as you rotate round into this shape. Encourage yourself to then be a little bit straighter and longer. And remember this shape we're going to need later for the double dip through, and then rotate round into your press up position. Once more, back, try and stay as long as you can. Lock that shape in your brain, make a mental note. This you're going to need later. And then round, back into our press up. Good. Right. So lower body, upper body should be feeling relatively warm right now. Hopefully it does. We are going to go into our first game. So rock, paper, scissors. Remember that one? Where you're like 1, 2, 3, bah. So that'd be rock. 1, 2, 3, scissor. 1, 2, 3, paper. But we're not going to do it like that with our hands. We're going to use our whole body. That's what calisthenics is about. Full body and full body control. So we're going to play. We're going to play this. I'm looking forward to this part. We're going to play this together. Massive thanks to everyone that's watching live. There's actually tons of you live at the moment, which is great. So you are going to, if you're doing it with someone, you can play it against them, or most of you, you're going to play against me. That's right. You, this is me. Who's going to win? We're going to see. Right. So we go 1, 2, 3, and then show your hand, but not your hand. Literally, these are the 3 things. So we start in a press-up position. Our rock, which would be that, is going to be going from press-up position and jumping into a rock shape. Very clever, I know. That's the rock. Paper, P is for paper, and we're going to go into a pike position to represent our paper. So that is from a push-up, and you stand up, legs up in straight, or straight as you can. You can see why we were loosening our hamstrings before. So rock into here, paper into there, and then our scissor, that's right, you've guessed it, that's why we're working with the legs wide, is going to make that scissor position. So we go from a push-up into straddle, or wide legged position. Okay, we got it? Rock, paper, scissor. We're going, and have a practice of each. So I want you to be, you're all going to do, we'll do a rock together. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, then we're going to do rock. We'll just do a practice of each one. Ready? So get in your press-up position. Yeah, in your press-up position. Okay. So we're just going to practice. We're going to do a rock. So 3, 2, 1, rock. Nice. Right. Then we're going to go paper. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, paper. Good. Still there. Still on board. Last one then. Scissor. 3, 2, 1, scissor. Some of you are a little bit behind time. Mrs. Jacko's outside the garden, she's a little bit behind. We've got to now we're going to be playing a game now. So it's me against you. I'm going to call it 1, 2, 3. Then you show, then you do your thing. Not on 3, after it. So 1, 2, 3, boom. And if I do a rock and you do a scissor, that means you've lost and you're going to do the forfeit. Okay, I'm going to show us what forfeit. We're going to do a simple forfeit each time. Okay, we'll see how many games of this we can get going. So, ready? Hopefully you know how rock, paper, scissors works. Scissor loses to a rock. Paper beats a rock. Scissors beat paper. Is that all of them? We'll see. Right. So, are we ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. So that's a scissor from me. If you did a rock, you lose. We're going to do 1 overhead squat. So, here, hands above head, drop down to overhead squat, back up. That's if you did a rock. No. Yeah, if you did a rock, you lose. If you did paper, you won. You rest, you get to watch me do that. Okay, next up. So again, press position. 3, 2, 1. Scissor. You never thought I was going to do scissor again. So everyone on that did a rock, you lose, you're going to do a push-up. So come down, one push-up, drive back up. Good, let's go again. Rock, paper, scissors. Here we go. There's absolutely no way. There is no way I'm going to do a scissor again. I can't, there's no way, there's no chance I'd possibly, an idiot would do 3 in a row. So that might be me, but no. So no, I can't do a scissor again. Might do, might be bluffing, might be bluffing. Okay, ready? Press up position, 3, 2, 1. Rock, there we go, rock. So all you papers, give yourself a round of applause, you just beat me. All you rocks, we equaled, and all scissors, you lost. If you lost, you're going to do an overhead squat. Boom, come to the bottom. You're going to go press up. You come back to overhead squat. Stand back up. We're going to do one more. Winner takes all. Winner takes all. Now, just because paper's in around and done yet, don't think that means I'm going to do a paper. That is a double bluff. Ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Paper, did it, called it. All you scissors, you win. Rocks, you lose. I'm getting confused now. Rock, if you do a rock, you lose. If you do a rock, you do the same punishment. Down to a squat, into a press up, down, back up to a squat, stand up. There we go. Right. So that was rock, paper, scissors. I've got to give a shout out to Glenn at the National Circus. When we went down to do some work with the National Circus and learn from their coaches, that was one of the warm games that they showed us and we found it. And it was fun. Hope you did too. You can do this. You can do this on a video call with one of your friends, or if you live at home with somebody else, you could do that together. We could go on for days doing that, but hopefully that's it's like a warm-up game. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun with it. And also, one of the nice things about it is, for your paper, you've got to have a bit of hamstring flexibility. For your scissors, you've got to have a bit of like adductor and hip mobility to get into some of those shapes. And you can play around with those, whether it's necessarily has to be part of the game or not. That's totally up to you. So, with the theme of moving, playing, we're going to go through what we call one of the challenges we've done before. It's been like a double dip through, a little bit of a fun thing. But this is a nice exercise that's going to take us getting used to transitioning between shapes. So we're going to use a push-up and we're going to be going forwards and backwards. Remember that reverse plank position I showed you before where we're in here with that body straight. You're going to need that in this one, and you're going to need 2 chairs. We're not going to be doing it on the floor. If you've got parallettes, you can use those. But anything that you can put your hands up. I'm going to grab these 2. Here's one I prepared earlier. There we go. These 2 chairs, put them next to each other, just like you would have almost like a dip bars. And what we're going to do is, all we're going to build it up. You're going to, there's like no reps and sets. This is just having fun with it, okay? So your core is going to work hard, and your shoulders will work hard. A couple of cues for you. Shoulders wise, think about pushing the floor or pushing down into the chairs or parallettes rather than like slumping in. You want to be driving away, pushing those shoulders around the rib cage. Think about that. It's going to create tension through the shoulders. It's going to help you. And then for your abs, they're automatically going to switch on when you go through these and progress them. So your hands are going to go on. We're going to do like a little bit of a bunny chuck through, where all you're going to do is come forward and go past it and pull yourself back. And your job is, you can make it even easier and just slide yourself through and slide yourself back. But that job is to make sure that we're trying to maintain the hips being nice and high, and actually try and get yourself giving a little bit of a float as you go forwards and back between them. The higher you can keep your hips all the way through and push your hips on the way back up, the harder you're going to work through your core and through your shoulders. Nice. So let's start to build this up a little bit more. So that means, rather than being tight here, we're going to go a little bit further away and start to the body a little bit straight. I'm not going to go into a full push-up position yet. I'm just going to come through. I've got further to go. I'm going to reach more with my feet, drive the hips up, and then bring it back. So I'm not going fully here, a little bit of a bend, but I'm aiming for something much further away now. Drive the hips through, then bring them back. On the way back, focusing on pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. On the way through, having something to focus on with your feet to reach for. So you can start then building that up. So I can go now, I'm going to try and go further each time and make myself into my straight body position between those two positions. So have a go at that. Try and make yourself as straight as possible as you go through, and as you bring yourself back. Mrs. Jacko is having some fun of this one in the garden. It's not very often that she would do anything that I would tell her, let alone training. So it's good to see. We must be doing something right. Now, so all we've done there is we've taken made it slightly more difficult gradually by a couple of things. One was, first, we started to move further, and then in terms of the distance we were going, and then we added that length of the body. So rather than being bent at the knees, we extended the legs down and tried to make ourselves as straight as possible. Nice thing about this is we get to transition between being frontal or loaded through the anterior chain, when our arms are behind, we're starting to fire up that posterior chain, and you can see how it linked into that reverse plank that we had. So we're starting to get a bit of both going on, because particularly this one, when we come through here, when you get into that shape and you drive up, you should be able to feel engagement at the back. We should be able to feel posterior delt. We should be able to feel tricep working to maintain that nice height. So the last thing I want you to try now is to slow it down. We're going to go as slow as we can. That's going to be harder strength-wise. So it might be that you start off, regress it back, go back to the easy position, but then we're just going to make it nice and slow. And then make yourself longer and still try and slow it down. So by going slower, you're going to make it a ton harder. So it might be that you need to make it easier in terms of how far you go, but then gradually you can try and find a position where you can go through loads of slow movements and trying to be as slow as we can, as well as moving through as much distance as we can. So that is our double dip through type position. Hopefully you've been having a go and playing those already. I talk about that tricep cracking. We'll do one more, because I am getting a super duper luscious pump in those triceps when I drive through. So that position when you come through and drive it there, that shape driving up, I'm feeling all sorts of lovely tricep work in there. Okay, so have a tiny little break. We're going to take a minute. We're then going to go through, and then we're going to try and do 10 of our best version of that double dip through. Yeah, so as controlled and as slow and through as big a range as you can. Have fun with it. Don't be too critical of yourself. It is one of those things that I mentioned this before in one of the other lives. I quite like the fact that, because I'm videoing this, I can look and I can see how I'm doing. And it's actually really good feedback, because sometimes what you think you're doing isn't quite what you're actually doing. So that can be very good, useful way to give yourself a little bit of feedback whilst you're doing something. Okay, so you could always set up a mirror or something, or just maybe not now because you're following on your phone, but when you're training yourself, like video it so you can see it back and give yourself a little bit of your own feedback and coaching. Okay, so we're going to go for 10, and then we've got one final thing left, and that is the flying frog challenge. Okay, which is going to utilise some of this that we've worked up. So we're going to go for 10. So it's going to be, don't be surprised, it's going to be difficult. Right, best socks on, fancy pants on. Yeah. Don't you worry. The pants, the fancy pants are always there. You just can't see them. Right, so as much control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember driving hips up here, up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo. Okay, hopefully that was good. I'll slide these chairs out of the way. And then the last one, we're going to finish our challenge, the flying frog challenge. Thank you for a lot of you got into the putting your t-shirt on or taking your t-shirt off in a wall handstand position. Lots of you been sharing that. I've seen loads more to come. We'll keep sharing them on, particularly on Instagram. People tag us in stories, and we love to celebrate and share them. This one doesn't require taking your shirt off, so maybe it won't be quite so viral, entertaining for you. But you can keep your shirt on. You need to take your shirt off if you want. But this flying frog is looking at getting into our frog stand, which Owen took us through earlier in the week, and a lot of you have done plenty of. I'll touch on it very quickly because we'll build it up gradually. Not just going to jump straight into this thing. We're going to build it up. But this is your challenge, the flying frog. And I want this, let's share and tag your friends when you just post this on Instagram. On Instagram, we're just School of Calisthenics. If you tag us on stories, we'll be able to see them, and then we'll share those and help people have a little bit of fun with getting into their frog stand. So I'm going to show you, probably side on, it's going to be useful. My socks have just slipped a little bit, so I'm just going to pull them up a bit, because you lose a little bit of the power when they drop down, and your calves look a lot better when you've got that nice high pull. Joking. Not joking, sort of joking. Right, so our frog stand. Our frog stand is hands shoulder width apart, knees go outside of the elbows, a slight bend in the elbow, and we're going to tip forward until we find a balance point. So this is going to be our first step. So I'll show you side on seated. Hands shoulder width apart. I'm going to put this, I've got to lean forward, so my shoulder has got to go in front of my hand. My elbow is going to be stacked on top of my wrist, and my knee is going to be on top of my elbow. And I'm going to lean, when I lean forward, you see how the shoulder's now in front of the hands? That creates a bit of a tipping point. Take one toe off and then the other, and just see if we can do a little bit of balance in there. We're going to potentially move from that position. If that's the very first time you've done that, then awesome. That's the first time I ever did it 6 years ago. I smashed my face on the floor. A lot of people who've been following us a long time have heard that. But we didn't start this with any experience whatsoever. So we were broken, me and Tim were two broken old rugby players, and we were trying to have a little bit of fun with our training, which we certainly did, but we weren't any good. We'd never done any handstand gymnastics or anything before. So if you've done that for the first time, great. If you're still going to work on it, carry on working on it. You're going to see some of the elements that I want to look at. So we're going to go first in reverse. Often we can create more strength. The literature says 1.4 times as much force on an eccentric, so the lowering of something rather than the concentric, the moving sort of forward or up. So we're going to work on doing the backwards bit before we do the front bit, and it'll all make sense in a second. So all you're going to do is you're going to be in your frog stand. You're going to let your toes go down to the floor, and then you're going to slide and push them back to your press-up position. Yeah? So you're supported by your toes. Let's go through that again. So frog stand, go into my frog stand so my feet are off, let the feet come back down, slide and push them back. So I'm actively pushing through my shoulders to drive them back. That's step one. See how that feels. If that feels good, then we go to step 2. So step 2 would be combining that with coming back. So we're here, slide down, drive back to push-up position, pull them forwards, up to the knees, and drive up. Okay, and getting used to getting into that transition of forwards, back, and through. So we'll do one more. Feet down, drive back. We're going to come up and in. Trying to do the up and in a little bit faster this time. So down, this bit controlled, but then a little bit more into position. You might find having your knees a little bit higher, if you're strong enough through the shoulders, might help you facilitate a little bit of a nicer, more comfortable position. But it's important just that you find where it's comfortable for you. So it might be that low is comfortable, or you can go higher in a position there where the knees are more on the back of the triceps rather than outside of the elbow. So that's the start to build it backwards. Now we're going to do the same thing, but the feet aren't going to touch the floor. That's our job. Well, they're going to touch the floor eventually. We're not just going to be balancing in space forever. Yeah, but you know what I mean, hopefully. So I'll show you. So rather than coming down and sliding my feet are going to stay there. Bang. I'm going to punch them back, stay strong through the shoulders, just like we were doing before. It said push the shoulder blades around the rib cage, thinking about staying active and strong in there. Not, you don't want to slump in and lose that connection. We want to create tension, have strength through the whole of that shoulder girdle, scapula, all the muscles that are controlling that scapula, that shoulder blade engaged, so that you stay strong and you drive out rather than slumping as soon as you come down. And then my other tip is prepare the brain and the body for what you're going to do. You know you're going to take those feet off and punch them back. It's going to require you to push down as hard as you can. So in your frog, before you take them off, not just resting, push down hard, and then bang. Okay, so that's you getting used to taking them off and shooting back to that position. Our final step then is, or before the very final challenge, see how far along this you can get. So you're going to go here, push down as hard as up, punch back, slide, and put them back on. Because the final bit to add, hopefully you've noticed, is being able to the flying frog, that's flying back. The last one is, can you fly forward to that position? Now, this will be interesting because this is now live, rather than seeing whether I just do it in a one. But this is let's see how we get on. We're going to be there, going to drive back to your push-up position, and then it's going to be a case of trying to like jump forward and land on that frog stand position where your knees are on your elbows. Just remember the shape you need to make. Your shoulders are in front of your hands, or you're raising your head is forward. So you've got to go and find that position. So when you're in your frog stand to start, try to program in, brain, this is where we're going to get to in a second when we come back forwards. Because what often happens, people jump back to this position, which isn't tipped forward into that position. So we don't want to be jumping to here, because you're never going to get into the shape you're trying to make that you too upright and bum too low. Yeah. So this is the last one. This is the final piece of the flying frog stand challenge. We're going to see how we get on. So we're in our frog. We push down hard, punch back, and then we jump and drive and catch it. Punch back, catch it. Punch back, catch it. Woo! Showing off now. Sometimes they can be quite difficult. 3 in a row, that was nice for me. I'd be interested to see how many potentially safely people can do. If you can just do one or just one of those regressions, amazing. You can see, hopefully you'll be able to see how I tried to build that up, made it progressive. Hopefully we can all start somewhere. And your job, I want you to be happy with whichever part of that you got to, whether you smashed it and you did 10 just in a row there, and you're like, Jacko, I'm miles stronger than you, and I'll be like, hey brother, sister, well done, like I love that, and the competition is not with me or you, it's with ourselves. But I don't think it's just about like having fun with that training. If though, the other end of the spectrum though, we've got everything else. It might be that you did a frog stand for the first ever time, or you tried to do the frog stand, but you're like, still a bit nervous about this. You're going to go away and work. We've got tutorials for that all through all of our programs. The Bodyweight Basics is free. There's a tutorial for the frog stand in there if you're just starting out. But equally, you might be at one of those steps along the way, and I want you to celebrate wherever you were at, and then know, if I want it, this is something I can do as part of this. Great for like a little bit of fun strength work. You'll feel it through the shoulders. I certainly do, just from doing those few reps. You'll feel it through the shoulders. You're getting strong whilst you're having fun in a small amount of space. It can be really good for a bit of preparation, like warm-up work for if you're doing any handstand sessions. It just adds a little bit of variety to some of the work that we're doing around sort of hand balancing. So I hope you can take away the sort of principles of the challenge, and then also smile, have some fun with it, enjoy it. We've been feeling a lot of anxiety and worry, and I'll credit him again, Chris Kresser, who's a functional medicine practitioner in the United States. Listen to one of his podcasts where he said that anxiety and worry cannot coexist at the same time as laughter and fun. And so, or something to those degrees. So when we're feeling like this, that anxiety and worry about the current situation we're in, do something that's going to make you laugh and have some fun. And if that can be movement based and building a bit of strength as well, and ticks all those boxes in one go, then that is a winner for us. So that is the Flying Frog Challenge. Tag us at School of Calisthenics on Instagram with your Flying Frog Challenge attempts. Get yourself over to our Instagram onto stories and show us how you get on with those. I'm going to go from the most number I can do in a row, I think, in the garden, and post that up and see how other people get on. Thank you everyone for watching. There have been absolutely tons of you on Instagram. We're on Facebook today as well, and on YouTube. So thank you for watching and following along. In your comments, just let us know, like, are you following along as we do it, or is it something you're watching and then going to implement later? Because that will help us plan what we're going to do. Tomorrow, Coach Owen is doing live at 11. Next week, me, Tim, and Owen. Tim's had a little bit of a problem with his leg that he's had to have sorted out, so he wasn't able to join in on the lives this week, but he's back in next week. And if you're not watching on YouTube, then all of these videos get saved and then uploaded onto YouTube. And there's a playlist of like live follow-along workouts that they're all going to be in there. So the last few days are there. So there may be 3 or 4 in there now, and there you can come back and watch them at any point. And also, the longer this goes on, the more videos there's going to be of training at home workouts for you to do. So yeah, just before I sign off, thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments, are you following along as we do it, or is it something you watch and then implement later? Because either is fine, but that would potentially change or could change what we want, or how we structure the workout for you. And then finally, a number of people were asking for a handstand follow-along workout next week, which we can do. If you've got any other requests for the types of workouts you would like, put them in the comments, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube. Put those in the comments so that we can then start to tailor what some of those have been like. And if there's anything in particular that we've already done that you want more of, then let us know about that as well. Other than that, from me, my fancy pants, my amazing socks. Remember, live videos every weekday, 11 AM UK time. We'll see you on the next one. Class dismissed. Okay, Instagram, you stay there.